Welcome to the Unapologetic Man Podcast, the only podcast that's all about self-improvement, confidence, success, women, and being a man without making any apologies for it. What is up, gentlemen? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the UMP, and today I'm going to tell you about this cool psychological experiment that you can do with girls where you actually have them draw a pig, and based on their drawing, you can analyze their personality. These gambits, as I call them, are really powerful to get girls attracted to you, and what's best is they give you some content to speak about when you feel like you run out of things to talk about. So I love to have a lot of these arrows in my quiver so that when I'm speaking to a girl, I always feel secure that I have something to talk to her about, something to get her attracted, something to elicit emotions, because as you know, emotions equal attraction. So we always want to be talking about these interesting things. And I'll tell you, these psychological tests, many of which I give out in this podcast, but all of which I give out in my 3-month coaching program, are absolute game changers, man. They get girls attracted to you and just make this shit so much easier. So take notes on this. We are going to have you draw a pig if you want to, so that you can really learn how this works, or you could just listen and kind of memorize it. And as I always say with these things, you could really bullshit your way through this. The point is you're analyzing her personality. You are giving her something interesting about herself. And let's not forget, every person's favorite topic is what? That's right, themselves. So as you speak about her, she's going to get more into you because you're essentially speaking about her favorite topic. And most importantly, it gets her into her emotions. Want to read yet another testimonial I just got from a client named Mr. Yan, Y-A-N. What is up, Mr. Yan? He says, lastly, Master Sing. He likes to call me Master Sing. Lastly, Master Sing, here's an example of a text inspired by your techniques. As I was hanging out with this girl, I'm getting messages from other chicks that want to hang. Now it's a bit overwhelming, but it's a great issue to have. I get to choose instead of being the friendly suck up I was back then. I met this girl on Friday. Keep in mind, I've never used an online dating app before. I matched with this girl on Bumble around 6 p.m. on Friday. And keep in mind, I've never used an online dating app before. Made the app last Sunday, and here we are. I managed to convince her to go grab a drink. We ended up making out in her car after the bar closed, and the next day I came over and she initiated a blowjob. I didn't even ask nor had any expectations. Thank you, Master Mark Sing. I followed your techniques and improvised based on my personality. This shit works. Even the girl after was like, I have never done anything like this with such a short time meeting with somebody. She was even confused why she decided to go out to the bar that night. Haha. Meanwhile, I'm getting texts from other girls from my approach and eject, and they want to hang out with me, and me is in capital letters. As always, your golden question will be tattooed on my forehead. What would I do if I were dating 4 other girls at once? Genius, pure genius. Please let me know if I can help you in any way. If you're in Alabama, please let me know. I'm forever grateful and looking forward to your continued lessons. Super pumped. I appreciate that, Mr. Yan, and I'll tell you guys, when Mr. Yan came into the program, he was probably a lot like a lot of you guys are, which is unable to get dates. If he did get dates, it's from a pool of women that he didn't really want, but he was chosen rather than choosing the girls that he was actually attracted to. Now this guy has abundance, and he is indeed using the golden rule. What would I do if I were dating 4 girls? And I want to give you that ability as well, no matter how much of a hard case you might be, or even if you are phenomenal with women already or average with women, I want to 10x your results. So if you're interested in meeting with me and my team to discuss whether or not we can 10x your results, just click the link in the description below or go to my website, click on coaching, watch the video that's there. I just put a brand new video. It's kind of like a highlight video of my coaching, and it's really interesting to see kind of what the other guys say, see how I coach, and see some of the testimonials. Read the 168 testimonials that I have on my website and then apply. It's a super quick application. You and I are going to email a little bit, and then you're going to get on a free one-on-one breakthrough session with my wingman and very good friend, Victor Lynch, who is an NLP expert, and he too has been through the program. And you guys are going to meet for an hour to see if you're a good fit for me. And of course, most importantly, if I'm a good fit for you. So let's go ahead and jump into the pig, gentlemen. This is a really interesting psychological test that you can do with girls when, you're on a first date or you guys are hanging out at your house and you're like, dude, I need something extra spicy to throw into this chicken pot pie, man, to really boost that attraction and make it so that I can be like Mr. Yen and get a blowjob, where afterwards she's like, I never do this. I swear to God, I never do this. How many of you guys have heard girls say that? I've heard that so many times where she's like, I never do this. I don't know what happened. And I'm like, oh yeah, I never do this either. I don't know what happened. It was just chemistry. The sparks were just too much to overcome. And when girls say that, you know that your seduction worked like a charm, because girls act on emotion and then rationalize it after. So this pig technique is going to get her further into her emotions on top of all the other techniques I teach. And then you're going to get an unsolicited blowjob, or chicks are going to show up at your door. You're going to be dating 4 chicks just by default. And then you will actually use the golden rule, which is on every decision you make with a girl, ask yourself, what would I do if I were dating 4 girls? Run every decision through that filter and you will always make the right choice. Okay, so here's how the pig works, boys. You hand her a piece of paper and a pen and you tell her to draw a picture of a pig. Very simple. She just draws a picture of a pig, and based on where the pig is located, the way it's facing, how many details it has, what its ears are like, what its tail is like, you can analyze her personality. Now, as I always say in these analyzation tests, you can bullshit your way through this like a politician meeting a bunch of union workers in some stockyard down in Florida. Just fucking lie after lie after lie. Tell her exactly what the hell she wants to hear, and then she's going to believe you. And if she questions you, you should have a strong enough frame to perhaps turn it around on her. What I always like to do is, if in any way they question me, I use her questioning me as evidence to support what I'm analyzing about her personality. For example, a typical cold read that I like to do is the outside of you is very hard and very rigid and you have this whole tough girl thing, but I bet deep inside you're really just a soft teddy bear. You do anything for your friends. I bet you're the most loyal person ever. If she's like, no, I'm not, I'll be like, see, I told you your exterior is super hard and you don't take any shit. You're just validating what I said. And you're going to do this too, boys, with the pig. Okay, so she draws the pig, and here's how we analyze it. Step 1, if the pig is on the top of the page, that is in the top portion of the page, she's an optimist. If the pig is in the very middle of the piece of paper, she's a realist. And if the pig is on the lower half of the piece of paper, she's a pessimist. Now, as I always speak about with these kind of personality tests, is you always want to try to make it positive. So while it's true that if she draws her pig on the lower portion of the page, she's a pessimist, what you might want to say is she's a realist and she needs a lot of evidence first before she, say, for example, believes in something, which would apply to the pig itself, right? Like, okay, I can tell by the fact that you drew the pig on the bottom of the page that you really need a lot of evidence. You don't agree with everything just being told to you. So I have a feeling as I analyze your pig, you're actually going to question some of these things, aren't you? So you see the way I do that, boys? I kind of like tell her something positive and then preemptively expect for her to be disagreeable so that if she is, I can still come out the right one, right? I can still come out the one who understands her and who's analyzing her personality. I'm telling you, boys, this shit gets attraction. When you tell a girl how she is, it fucking ignites attraction like no tomorrow. So just trust me, brother. Learn how to do this. It is going to work really well for you. And by the way, if you want to draw a pig so you can kind of analyze your own personality via this episode, go ahead and do it and then check this out. So once again, pig's on the top portion of the page, optimist, very middle, she's realist, and then on the bottom, pessimist. But I like to reframe it and say that she needs a lot of evidence before she's going to believe in anything. Okay, if the pig is facing left, it means that she's friendly, outgoing, and she has a really good memory. If the pig is facing straight on, it means she's very direct and she's very blunt. If the pig is facing right, it means that she's innovative, creative, and active. Okay, so to repeat, left, friendly, outgoing, and she has good memory. Facing straight on, she's straight and direct. Facing to the right, innovative, creative, and active. Okay, if the pig has lots of details, it means that she's analytical, she's cautious, she thinks about things before she makes decisions, And you could even blow a little smoke up her ass and say that she's a good decision maker. So the pig has tons of details, right? Like she draws a very intricate face. She has like patches of color on the pig. You could see the toes and the hooves. There's like a lot of extra detail. Use that to compliment her and say that she's very analytical and she pays attention to detail, which frankly is true. Why? Because she's paying attention to detail as she's drawing the pig. Very fucking simple. Fewer details. It means that she's impulsive, a risk taker. You could say, once again, spinning it into a positive thing, that she enjoys life more. She doesn't take things so seriously. She knows how to lighten up and have a good time. Whereas somebody who draws a lot of details, they're stressed out. They're overthinking things. They have too much attention to detail and therefore they're stressed. But you, on the other hand, Kelly, you have very few details. In fact, I can't even tell that's a pig. It looks like a piece of poo laying on a plate. But because it has so few details, Kelly, I can tell that you're really relaxed about your life. And you know what? I like that about you. You just went up 20 points in my book. You are now at -60. Congratulations. Smack yourself on the ass so hard when the concussion hits, it blows that piece of poo that you are telling me is a pig right off that plate. Okay, if she draws all 4 legs, it means she's secure. She knows her ideals and she knows who she is as a person. Dude, like, even as I'm reading this, man, it's so fucking bullshit. Right? It's like 4 legs. It means you're secure, you know your ideals, and you know who you are as a person. But here's the thing. As an NLP coach, I understand that we have archetypal schemas in our brain. So we work via archetypes. Because archetypes work throughout all of humanity's consciousness pretty consistently, these things are actually pretty true. And it's not just a bunch of schleps that came together and like made this shit up, as I'm kind of telling you to do. It's really from psychologists who have understood through years of research and years of working with the human mind that these types of things are relatively true. So don't discount it. I know I'm kind of ripping on it because I believe in it in some respects, but then again, I bullshit my way a lot through it and girls believe me anyway. So I kind of have that believe, not believe thing about this, but a lot of it really does work. And the girls will tell you you're right. Like with the cube psychology test that I've showed you guys earlier. And if you haven't seen that yet, I strongly suggest you go to YouTube, type in MarkSing the cube, and a video of me will come up explaining the cube to you. That fucking thing, holy Jesus, wouldn't even believe this, how fucking effective that is. Like you do that shit and she just like rips her panties off, launches them over your head, jumps into the air and slides right onto your dick. That shit is that effective. Less than 4 legs means she's insecure and she doesn't know her ideals. But once again, we want to spin this in a positive direction. So if all 4 legs means she's secure, attentive to details, and she knows her ideals, what would less than 4 legs mean in a positive respect? It means that she's open-minded, right? Is something I'd say. I'd say that she's eager to grow. She wants to grow into a better human being. She's into self-development. Because what I'm doing is I'm spinning her insecurity into something positive, which is she has room for growth and she's eager to do so. So you always have to spin in the positive. Because if you're like, dude, your pig looks like a goddamn beach sea donkey or a piece of poo laying on a plate, this tells me everything I need to know about you. You're insecure, you're not creative, you're unmotivated, you're extremely pessimistic, and you're a goddamn canyon mule. If you say that, obviously, boys, she's going to get all butthurt and you're going to get all blown out. So you want to keep the shit positive. Think on your feet. You can do it. I trust you. And if you can't do it, then take notes on everything I'm saying and think of if-then situations. If she has only 2 legs, what will I do then, for example? Okay, the ears represent how well she listens. So if they're very big ears, then she listens well. If they're very small ears, you guessed it, she doesn't listen well. Now, this too can be spun into a positive direction where no matter what the size of her ears are, you just say, oh, those are big, and you listen really well. You pay attention. Actually, Kelly, that's what I noticed about you, is you're a really good listener. I feel like you really pay attention to me. It just feels like you're present when you listen to me. Would you say that's true? And that, boys, is what I call a preemptive compliment. Anytime you want to shape behavior in somebody, you tell them how you want them to be in a compliment. So anytime I want to shape behavior in a woman, I'm going to compliment the thing that I want to shape. For example, for me, showing up on time is extremely important. So the second she does it, even if it's the first date, I'll compliment her and say, listen, I love how you showed up on time. I absolutely respect that in you so much. It just drives me nuts when people are late. Or if I feel like she's going to be late, I'll even say, hey, I heard through the grapevine that you're really reliable. And just so you know, that's super important to me. So I'm glad to hear that. Dude, she's going to show up on time when you do that preemptive compliment. People will behave the way you expect them to, but more importantly, people will behave in the way you compliment them to. Definitely make note of that. All right, the tail. If the tail is super long, and obviously when they draw the tail, they draw like this little corkscrew tail. If the tail is super long, it means she's highly sexual. And if the tail is really short, it means she's not very sexual. She's prudish. So this one we save until the end for a very specific reason, because we want to perhaps start eliciting sexual conversation. So honestly, no matter how long her tail is, I'm going to tell her that, oh my God, this tail represents that you're so sexual. You could even BS about the space of the corkscrews. Like, you know, when you make a corkscrew, there's circles that are created. You could say that the size of the circles dictate how sexual she is, right? They're like holes, you could say, and start speaking sexually with her if you feel she's on that level with you. If she's not, then obviously don't talk about it yet. Don't talk about it yet. So the length of the tail dictates how sexual she is. Just BS your way through it, bro. Like you're Madoff himself running your Ponzi scheme. Like just BS your way through it. I'm telling you it works. But ultimately what I shared with you is relatively true. So you guys can do pretty well just with that. But if there comes to be some unexpected thing like the pigs levitating or jumping or like being sliced up in a grinder, you need to like think on your feet and talk about how that represents her personality. And honestly, many times you'll be right. For example, do you know what it means when you fly? That's FLY, fly in your dream. Obviously, it means you're confident. Just as when you're running in your dream and you can't run like you're stuck in syrup, it means that you feel stuck in your life. You may feel unconfident in a certain situation. So a lot of these archetypal things are obvious to you because you have the archetypes within yourself. So if you guess at an archetype, you can usually get it right. And when we do NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming, it's highly based on archetypal programming that's in the human mind. And that's why I can remove a belief like a splinter from your brain, such as I'm not good enough for a high quality girl, which I know 90% of you guys listening probably have inside your head. I'm not good enough. I don't know what to say. She would be better with another dude. All this bullshit you have in your head are based on schemas and archetypes that somebody gave you before you could defend yourself. And here you are, man, just repeating the same results over and over again and saying to yourself, dude, I can't believe I'm here again. I can't believe I got this fucking 7 who really likes me. And I'm like, God, dude, I just feel like I want an 8 or a 9. I can't believe that's happening. But you should believe it's happening because you haven't gone to work on your belief systems. So just as the pig works to analyze her personality, other archetypes work so that I can analyze your personality and remove that bullshit that isn't conducive to attracting women so that you can behave correctly, your tonality can be correct so that you can attract women at will and choose from abundance, not choose from scarcity, like Mr. Yan, whose review I read at the beginning of this podcast. This guy had 0. I mean, I hate to rip on you here, Mr. Yan, but you've grown, so I can do it. Bro, like you were struggling in the beginning. Like this is the quintessential example of a dude who didn't pull chicks. Now he's getting blowjobs, making out with chicks in their car, yanking numbers from Cold Approach, talking to 4+ girls. That's what the fuck I'm talking about, man. Smack yourself on the ass so hard, Mr. Yan. Your former non-pulling self blows right out of your fucking subconscious mind. So the hell I'm talking about. Gentlemen, my coaching program has some openings. So if you'd like to join us in the brotherhood, apply on my website. I'd also very much appreciate a review, preferably a 5-star review with some writing behind it. Email me at CoachMarkSing@gmail.com and I will send you 3 awesome programs: Conversation Sniper, Guide to the Female Orgasm, and 3 texts to make women massively attracted to you. Impress your friends, baffle your enemies. I do appreciate your listening, gentlemen, and I will see you in the next episode.